We have been living on this site, Wurrun-Alheri, for just over 3 years. And when we first moved here, there was a lot of violence between the communities that surrounded our land here. We began to meet with these communities, and by God's grace, we're able to bring them together with different programs, reaching out to the youth and to the elders. And now these communities serve together. Elders from these communities serve, for example, on our agricultural group, a cooperative, and which is helping widows of violence and a lot of other people in this area. But our wider region around this area has experienced a lot of violence, as many other sectors of this nation. And there's been a lot of pulling down of buildings and homes and schools in different village, rural communities nearby us. A lot of people killed, a lot of widows and orphans have been left. And as you drive through these communities nearby our place, you see a lot of children on the streets playing just out there in the dirt, and often not in school, and you wonder about these children. You wonder about their future. Not only their future, but also the future of the country. If these children aren't educated and cared for and nurtured, how are they going to grow up? What sort of bitternesses will they carry into their future? Recently we had a graduation at one of our computer centres in a mosque, and there are a lot of children around there, and once I heard them chanting the Quran in the mosque, and because of where I grew up in Sydney, this was an unusual sound, and sort of, you don't know what it's all about, but I'd met their mothers, and I knew the extreme poverty, and I knew the parents and the grandparents concerned that these children had a future. And this was all they had to give them. And so our heart went out to them, and we, with an empathy of how we can work together these communities so that people can have a better future. And these communities want us to do that. And so at the graduation in our computer centre there, we gathered all these children together. They came in their dirty clothes, and we handed out books, school books, exercise books, mathematical set squares, pencils, and they loved it. These are the things I didn't like very much when I was a kid, because it just meant hard work, but these children just loved it. And then we began to think that there are thousands and thousands of children all around our community just like this. And if Christians can reach out to them and help them and encourage education, encourage hope, then these children will grow up and they will know that Christians love them. And this will mean a lot to them, and it will mean a lot to our nation. It will mean a lot to the gospel. This is what church is about. It's reaching out to people who can't pay tithes, who can't give back to us, that we can't profit from. And when the church begins to realize that this is our ministry and this is our calling, then our nations have a hope for a good future. And we can share the love of God with people who don't know the gospel. And so our heart is we've gone around, we went to the Secretary of Education, and we went around different schools. And we want to work with government schools in these rural areas, because these are schools that are already built. They're not built well. They don't have much in the way of facilities, but they exist. They have teachers that are paid by the government. They don't get paid much, but they are paid, and the teachers take their work seriously and are at their work every day. So instead of building our own schools, let's work with schools that are already there that just need help, someone to lend a hand. And when we work together, we can do far much more. For example, we went around to, I think, about half a dozen schools and helped some. One we roofed, another one we're helping to rebuild one of their blocks that's falling down, and the children couldn't use it anymore, it's too dangerous. Other ones where we need to provide tables and chairs. Children are sitting on stones on the floor. This is the community right next door to our land here. How can we be building this land and loving our children and caring for our children when there are children just a stone's throw away that sit on the floor, don't have exercise books, don't have pencils? And it's not because their parents don't care, their parents do care, they love them. And this is why these are good people to work with. The government, the parents, the Teachers and Parents Association. All they need is someone to help. So we also want to, there's other schools we need to provide more buildings for, they're not expensive. Just putting up a few rooms just make a huge difference, because the school's got hundreds of kids. Maybe one school we went to had about 350 children, and it had I think 3 rooms. One of those rooms is used by the staff as well. And they're small rooms, not large ones. And so these are the schools we want to help. We're working on these projects one after the other. We bring news about this, photos and reports. If you stay tuned, you'll see it. We've also chosen 6,500 children, primary school children and senior school children, and we want to reach out and provide exercise books for them. The next school year starts in September. We can't provide all the exercise books they need, it's just too much for us, but we can do something, and at least they know someone loves them. I mean, just driving into these far interior rural villages on a muddy road, a long dirt road full of mud and the car swerving everywhere, it just speaks volumes to these people, that they're shocked that anyone would come out and visit them. Why would we care about these people out there in the bush? And just to visit them is wonderful. It's the gospel in motion. It puts legs on people's lives. It reorientates futures, people's attitudes, the way people live, and it can change a nation. And so we're collecting donations now for 6,500 children, just to provide exercise books, pencils, mathematical set squares, any other money we can to help put up rooms for some of the schools around here. So if you want to donate to this and to help, we're gathering these exercise books together for next September, also tables and chairs for schools. If you contact us, we can give you a list of what this will cost. It's about, I think, about $10 for a child, one child. And so this is just the beginning. We would like in the future to be able to continue to provide exercise books as we're able, and also textbooks, because these children don't have textbooks. All they do, many of them, is just sit on the floor and have some black painted onto the wall, an old wall with holes in it, and the teacher writing with chalk on it. And a lot of these were sitting under mango trees outside. They didn't have rooms. And so we're thinking in the future, if we can provide textbooks, this would be great. This would be a huge bonus for them. And we found out to do that cheapest is to have a printing press. So we ideally would like a printing press on our site here, so that we could use that to bless the communities around about us. So get involved, please. We'd love you to be involved and to help this. It's not only help for the people here, but it's a model for the church to do something about our countries that have been in terrorism, our world that has been in division, and this is how we put a broken world back together. God bless you and thank you.